Hello, and welcome to the Blogging Pod. Yesterday, a resolution was introduced in the House that would have brought long overdue transparency to Epstein files, specifically where the Department of Justice should release the identities of those associated with Epstein's crimes. The measure was met with swift resistance. Every single Republican member voted against bringing it to the floor. No debate, no inquiry, just silence. The kind that doesn't clarify, it clouds. Which raises a question. If there's nothing to see, why the rush to keep it buried? It would be easy to say that this is just politics as usual. But the pattern is too familiar to dismiss. There's a certain kind of quiet that doesn't feel passive. It feels managed, constructed. Because it's not just about Epstein. It's about the people who protected him, who minimized the consequences, and who perhaps are now invested in making sure the details never resurface. That brings us to the current U.S. Attorney General. Before stepping into this national role, she served as Florida's Attorney General, and prior to that, as a state prosecutor in Hillsborough County. It was during her tenure in Florida that Epstein was granted his infamous sweetheart plea deal, one that spared him from federal prosecution and kept many of his victims in the dark. It was also during that same period that a certain for-profit university owned by the current head of this administration faced a wave of fraud allegations. Her office was considered joining the legal fight until a donation of $25,000 came in from his charity foundation. Days later, the investigation was quietly dropped. The pattern continues. The same official later emerged as a fierce defender of this administration, stepping into a high-profile legal fight and echoing the rhetoric that seems to discredit accountability. And now, with renewed public pressure for answers about Epstein's connections, we're again met with resistance. This time, not just from individuals, but from an entire party apparatus acting in sync. There's a name for when a power seems to protect power at every level. But perhaps it's more productive to simply observe the layers, the shielding, the silence, the strategic timing. The way certain people always seem to be standing at the doorway, not letting anything in or out. Today's sources for our podcast come from The Right's Meltdown Over Jeffrey Epstein Explained by Vox, What's the MAGA Epstein Drama All About by Vanity Fair, Trump University, The Scandal That Won't Go Away by The New Yorker, The Trump Foundation Scandal, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington Crew. The Epstein Files, What's Trump's Best Move by The Washington Post. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye-bye for now.